Assalamualaikum and hello boys and girls. For Science Year 2 today, we are going to continue on this topic, mixture. Welcome back to my class, students. Do your best, alright? And then selalu bersemangat. Okay, now let's do some revision on our previous lesson. How to separate mixture. First, hand picking. Okay, separate the large materials. Okay, you use hand picking. Next one is sieving. Okay, when you want to separate fine size materials from large size materials. Magnetic attraction. Okay, when you want to separate objects that can be attracted to the magnets, okay, from objects cannot attract to the magnet. Next one is flotation. When you want to separate object that can float and object sink. Okay, last one is filtration. When you want to separate solid materials from liquid materials. Okay, today we are going to learn about soluble and insoluble materials. Okay, solubles boleh larut, insoluble tidak boleh larut. Okay, now let's look at your textbook, page 94. Soluble and insoluble materials. Okay, soluble larut, boleh larut. Okay, boleh larut dalam air. Insoluble cannot dissolve, tak boleh larut dalam air. Okay. Nisa adds 2 materials into a glass of water and stirs. Okay. Nisa add corn kernels, okay, berteh jagung, and then sugar, okay, gula, in the water. And then she stirs the water. Okay, dia kacau. What happened after that? After stirring, look, okay, the corn kernels still there. Okay, you can see the corn kernels. How about the sugar? Can you see the sugar? You cannot see the sugar. Okay, where is the sugar? Why are the corn kernels still visible? The sugar is still there. Okay, sugar tu masih ada, but it has dissolved in the water. Tetapi dia telah larut, okay, dissolve, larut, okay, in the water. The corn kernels are still visible. Okay, boleh nampak lagi berteh jagung because they don't dissolve in the water. Okay, kerana berteh jagung tak boleh larut dalam air. Okay, don't dissolve in the water. So as a conclusion, some materials can dissolve in water such as sugar. Some materials cannot dissolve in water such as corn kernels. Okay, soluble materials means, okay, the materials not visible. Okay, you can't see the materials because it has mixed together with the water. Okay, telah bercampur dengan air, is not visible. Awak tak boleh tengok dia lagi, tak nampak. Okay, so it means the materials can dissolve in water. Okay, bahan itu boleh larut dalam air. Okay, meanwhile, insoluble materials, okay, means it's still visible. The material still visible. You can see. Awak boleh nampak. Okay, it's still there. It cannot mix with water. Tak boleh bercampur dengan air. Okay, the materials is still there. You can see it. Okay, it means that it does not dissolve in the water. The materials do not dissolve in water. Okay, tak boleh larut dalam air. For example, the corn kernels just now, okay, that do not dissolve in water. Okay, now let's investigate. Okay, turn to your textbook, page 95, apparatus and materials. Look at the apparatus and materials. And then steps. Okay, the steps first. Pour 200 ml of water into each beaker. Add salt into beaker A. green beans into beaker B and rice into beaker C. Okay, stir the water in each beaker and observe the changes. Perhatikan perubahan. Okay, now let's look at my investigation. Okay, apparatus and materials first. Okay, first pour 200 ml of water into each container. I replace beaker with the container. And then add a teaspoon of salt into beaker A, into container A, and then stir. Okay, stir for about around 1 minute. Okay, stir, and then observe the changes. Okay, observe the water. Okay, perhatikan air tersebut. Okay, what happened? You can't see the sugar. Okay, the sugar has visible. Okay, telah larut. Okay, it dissolves in the water. Okay, next, a teaspoon of rice. Okay, add a teaspoon of rice in container B and then stir. Okay, stir for about 1 minute. Okay, stir and then observe the changes. You can still see the rice. And then add a teaspoon of green beans into beaker C, into container C, and then observe the changes. Okay, stir around 1 minute. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's still visible. Okay, boleh nampak it's still there. Okay, now salt, rice and green beans. Okay, that's the result. After stir 1 minute, you can see rice and green beans, but you can't see the sugar and the salt anymore. Okay, tak nampak salt lagi. Okay, after that, okay, record your observation in the table as shown below. Record your observation like this. Okay, do this table in your exercise book and then answer the question. Okay, jawab soalan itu. Okay, now, how to do this table? Okay, beaker A or container A just now, materials, salt. Is it visible or not visible? The salt is not visible. Tak boleh nampak lagi. So, it means that it dissolve or do not dissolve? It dissolves in the water. The salt dissolve in the water. So, you write down, not visible, tak boleh nampak, and then dissolve, okay, larut. It is for salt. Okay, now let's recap what we have learned today. Some materials can dissolve in water such as sugar and salt. And then some materials cannot dissolve in water such as corn kernels, green beans and rice. Okay, soluble meal not visible, tak boleh nampak lagi, dah larut, it dissolve in the water. Insoluble means it's still visible, boleh nampak, and do not dissolve in water, tak boleh larut dalam air. Thank you for watching my video. Until we meet again next time. Goodbye.